Hi everyone, can you hear me? I can't actually see if anything's happening. Oh, hi, Rachel. Yes, you can hear me, brilliant. Hi, Susan, hope you're okay. I'm not bad, Rachel, thank you. I am still struggling with my back and my leg. Well, it's my leg more than anything, but that's from my back. It's just absolutely started hailstoning, so if you hear a noise, that's what it is in the background. And Hannah's upstairs getting a bath, so Eddie's running up and down, so it's all a bit chaotic here at the moment. Hi Alison, how are you? I'm sorry I'm late everybody. Hannah's worked today, which she doesn't normally do, and I wasn't sure whether she was going to get home in time or not for me to get on, and I was going to try and do something with the rotary blade, but I've just not had time to look at it. And then I got an email, I think it was earlier on in the week, from somebody called Linda. I'm not sure if she's on here, and she was asking about the template maker site. So I just thought that now I can get on for a little while, that would just have a look at this website again. I've not used this for absolutely ages, so it's, you know, I'm probably going to get it all wrong or whatever, but anyway, not to worry. Let's see what Vicky's saying. Hi, watching National Ladies Curling semi-final. Local team is defending champ. Oh, is that for the Winter Olympics, Vicky? Or is that something completely different? Alison, it's not great. I'm still on the painkillers, literally just getting by on the painkillers. Eddie's outside on the balcony, on the patio, chasing hailstone. Oh my days. Hi Anita, hi Ashley, managed to get to live, hope you feel better soon. Well, I'm late getting on, Anita. Long story, Jim's had 2 mild heart attacks and had 2 stents fitted in Stoke Hospital on Thursday. Oh my days, Alison, I hope he's okay. Oh dear lordy, what is with us all, honestly? We're all a bunch of crocs, aren't we? Hi Thea. Did look early but couldn't see. Yeah, I literally have only just got on. You might not have been here. Hannah's been working today. She doesn't normally work on a Sunday, but she's off for a couple of days, and she swapped a work around, so I wasn't sure whether she was going to get home or not. And she's literally just got home about 5-10 minutes ago, so that's why I'm just trying to pop on. But it's all a bit crazy because I've got the patio doors open, it's hailstoning, and Eddie's running backwards and forwards, so it's a bit chaotic. So if we get this live done, it'll be a miracle. Hi JD Cougar, hope you're okay. Let's see what's going on. I'm looking at my iPad and I'm looking at my phone all at the same time. I'm still struggling a bit, JD Cougar, I must admit. And Rachel's saying, Alison, hope Jim has a good recovery. Yeah. Hi Judy from Granite Falls, USA. Let me see what Vicky's saying. We could write a book on ill health, thank goodness for crafting. I know, we're all just a bunch of crocs, aren't we? Corinne's saying hi all from a freezing Kent. National tourney called Scottish Tournament of Hearts. Unfortunate overlap with Olympic schedule. Okay, so it's not to do with the Olympics. It's a local national tournament. Still good though. This weather's mad, isn't it? I took Eddie out for a walk earlier on and it's been raining all day and I waited for a break in the weather and it looked as though it was bright, so I took him for a walk and we got caught in a hailstone, and now it's just absolutely lashed it down with hailstone and he's like running around outside on the patio like a nutter. So you're probably going to hear him keep coming in and out. Right, so let's have a look at this. So as I say, somebody called Linda, I've not seen the name pop up on here, messaged me and said that she'd made a template using this template maker site, which hopefully you can see here on screen, and that she'd printed the template off and it seemed okay, but when she saved it as an SVG, it came out smaller. Now, I know we've looked at this before. I'm sure I've either done a live on this before, or I've got probably a pre-recorded video on my channel somewhere, but I literally just haven't had the inclination to look, to be honest, because the pain in my leg is just constant pain, and I literally can't concentrate at all to craft. It's awful. I am literally just getting by on painkillers. So anyway, let's remove this off the screen. So the template website is templatemaker.nl, so N for Norma and L for Lima, okay? And this is what you see when you go to the website. These are all the different types of templates I'm thinking that you can make. As I say, it's a long time since I've looked at it. Happy Paper Stamper is saying, hi Ashley, I got ScanNCut. Oh, Sim, hi Sim, how are you? Brilliant. What model did you get, Sim? In fact, did we talk about this? I vaguely remember you messaging me now a few weeks or so ago. And I think I said get an auto blade machine. I can't remember now. Watching you on my phone. Anyway, multitasking. Well done, Vicky. So anyway, as I say, there's all these kind of pictures along the top, which I think are all the templates that you can make, and then obviously you can see them. I've got my screen on full screen. So you've got like bags, curve box, heart shape, pillow pack, which is like what we call a pillow box, boxes with lids, cylinders, polygons, all sorts of things. If you scroll down, you'll just see all these different things. As I say, Linda didn't actually tell me. SDX 135, yeah, that's what I thought so. Are you enjoying it, Sim? Have you been using it more to the point? For anybody that you probably won't know, Sim is one of my Stampin' Up friends and teamies, and we met at the Stampin' Up retreat I went on last year. So as I say, Linda didn't tell me which template she'd used, so you know, I've no idea to look at a specific one, but there's all these different templates. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to choose this card box template for now, and then we'll just see how we get on. So when you click it and you click onto it, this is kind of what you'll see. So it says key parameters, so you can use the you know, what you prefer best. I prefer to work in inches, so under units here I would change this to inches, and then obviously whatever you choose, it's going to give you some default measurements, and then from memory, from using it last time, it always has a diagram that kind of explains what all this stuff here relates to. So like under where it says key parameters, you'll see it says length, width and height, as well as showing you what the finished article should look like. It also shows you like what the height and the width and the length relates to. So when she messaged me earlier on in the week, I did come on here and just had a quick look, and I'm going to kind of work a bit backwards here, but when you scroll further down, you'll see here that it says request a PDF, an SVG, a Cricut file, a perforated SVG, a DXF file, which the ScanNCut canvas can also import, and a PNG or a perforated DXF. Now I did come on and have a quick look, and I did try saving as an SVG and a perforated SVG, and I don't know whether there is a glitch in the software, but when I tried it earlier on in the week after she'd emailed me, I saved a file, and when I opened it in Canvas, it was smaller than I'd created here in this software. But then when I did it again, it saved it as the correct size. So I don't know whether that's what has happened with Linda. I honestly don't know, but I know I've used this in the past and it's been fine. And then, as I say, when I played about with it, you know, earlier on in the week for like the second time, it saved fine. So I just thought, rather than mess about with it, we'd do it live and just see what happens. Bought it 2 weeks ago and only just got it out of the box. Love it, but have been watching lots of your videos. Oh, great. Thea's saying, love the template maker. I use it for all my card boxes. Okay, so Thea, if you use it for all your card boxes, are you using it with the ScanNCut, or are you just printing out the templates and cutting them by hand? And are you finding that it's true to size? Can you let me know if you've had any issues? Because, as I say, I know I've used this in the past a long time ago, and I don't remember having any issues with it, but I've not had time to go back and look at my own YouTube video to see. I just, as I say, thought we would, you know, just do it live. So Thea's saying, so easy to get and a perfect fit. Okay, so you don't appear to be having any problems. So, right, let's go back to the beginning then, and we'll just have a look at this and see. Because I'd be interested to know if, you know, any of you do use this program, and, you know, which particular boxes you're trying, and if they're all working or if they're not working. As I say, I've literally not had time. I mean, my back is aching now I'm sat in this chair, so we'll plod on anyway. So key parameters, I'm changing to inches. Okay, so length. So length in this particular case is what I would call the width of the box. So here it says it's 2.358. I'm going to change that to 2 and hit enter. Width is what I would call the depth of the box. So we'll make that, let's say, 0.75, so 3/4 of an inch, and hit enter. And height, we'll say, let's say 3 inches. So we do it 3 by 2 by 3/4 of an inch. Should we try that? Or should we try 3 and should we I know, we'll do 3.5. So 3.5. So I'm just going to write these measurements down on a piece of paper. So we've got length, width and height. So length I've done as 2, width I've done as 3/4, and height we're going to say is 3.5. Because I'm going to save this file and have a look at it in Canvas and see if what the software produces is what we're expecting. Okay, so optional parameters, thumb hole, so that's this little bit here. So that's saying it's 0.393. The tuck flap, which is this bit here, is 0.786, which is just over 3/4 of an inch. The glue flap, and the glue flap angle. I'm guessing that's these bits here, the bits you tuck inside. So I think we'll leave all those as they are. We won't touch any of them for now, because you can always jiggle around with these flaps and this thumb hole in Canvas Workspace. So let's see what we're saying. So yes, using it with ScanNCut, no issues with size. Kareen is saying, I have had sizing problems. Jamila is saying, hi all, what happened? I waited and nothing happened. I never got notified. Jamila, I came on late. I didn't actually come on till about 5:15 because I was waiting for Hannah to come home. So we've literally just been sat talking, but I don't know why you've not had a notification. YouTube does that sometimes. So let's see what Vicky's saying. Would be good to know how Thea and Kareen are exporting the file, i.e. choice of format. Yeah, so that is a good point. So if Thea, if you can let us know, like I said at the beginning, are you printing it? In other words, are you choosing PDF and printing, and then are you kind of, you know, printing that on cardstock and cutting it manually? Or are you printing it and then scanning it? Or are you saving it? What format are you saving it in? So yeah, that would be good to know. And Kareen, you're saying that you have had sizing problems. Can you remember what option you chose? And then we'll see if there's kind of like a common, you know, theme. So Kareen is saying, Vicky, I am obviously doing something wrong. I'm hoping this is going to help me. Kareen, not necessarily, because like I say, when Linda messaged me, I did say that I was struggling with my back and I didn't know when I could get to it. And I think it was like the next day or the day after that I had a quick look at it. And the first time I did a file, it didn't save the right size, but then I did it again and it did. But I've literally not looked at this since, so that's kind of why I'm thinking we'll do it now. Because as I say, I was going to try and look at the rotary blade, but I'm struggling, so I don't know if I could. I've just not had time to look at the rotary blade. I've not even taken it out of the packet, so that might have to be next week's project. So I just thought, as Hannah has come home, it might be easier for me to just sit here at my desk and we'll just go through this together and see what we get. So Lynn's saying, hi Ashley, sorry, I only just sat down, been working, building my website all day. Oh, that sounds fun, Lynn. Waited till 5:10. I'm here still now. Missed you all. Well, I didn't even come on until about 5:15, Jamila, so you wouldn't have got any notification before then anyway. As I say, I was late. So let's crack on and just see what we get here. So I'm scrolling down. So it says document options. Okay, I'm not touching the margin size. The page size, I'm going to select the downward arrow, and it says here, custom you decide, A4 portrait, A4 landscape, US letter, and it works its way through all different measurements. Now, I'm going to choose, because looking at this diagram up here, it looks as though it's in portrait mode. So I'm going to choose A4 portrait, because if I was printing this out, that would be, you know, paper I would use, A4. So I'm going to choose that. Don't know whether that's going to make any difference or not, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to leave the resolution at 72. And the perforation length I'm not going to touch, because I may change that when I open the file in Canvas Workspace. So if you were just going to print this and then cut it out manually, you would save it as a PDF. Okay, I I am going to choose SVG. But before I do that, let's just see what anyone else is saying. Jamila's saying, I've been naughty and ordered the vinyl auto blade kit. Oh, okay. Well, I've done lives and videos on that in the past, Jamila, so there'll be stuff on my channel for that. Thea's saying, brought it into Canvas usually and then export it to the machine. I do check the size anyway before I do this, and I make sure it's on A4. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. So let's see, we'll carry on and see. Jamila's saying, this is fab. I need a box in a few days and could not work out the measurements. Okay, so let's plod on and see. So I'm just going to choose SVG. We'll try perforated SVG in a minute. I honestly don't know if there's any difference, but we'll see. Linda Gibb, is it you that messaged me? Just let me know if it is you. So I'm going to choose SVG and I'm going to choose create. And now it's dropped that file into my downloads folder. So I'm going to open another tab and I'm going to go to Canvas Workspace and I'm just going to log in online and then we'll see what happens. This, did you save SVG or DFX? Same question to Kareen. Yeah, we'll try DXF in a minute, Vicky, and we'll see. Because I'm waiting to see if it's Linda, and I'm waiting to see if it is, if she can tell us which box template she used. So we'll plod on for now. So I'm going to go to Canvas Workspace and choose a new blank mat. Okay, so Linda's saying, yes it was, and my problem was with a box with a separate lid. Okay. And Vicky's saying, can hear the hailstone. Right, so we'll do this one first, Linda, and then we'll have a look. Because I'm thinking, because we're kind of choosing A4 paper, I'm wondering if it makes the thing smaller if we choose something that's too big to print on A4 paper. But I don't know. But at least now Linda's here, we can all ask Linda questions. No, it's hailstone, JD Cougar. It's been doing it on and off all afternoon. But I've got the door open, going out onto the patio, onto the balcony for Eddie to be running in and out. Okay, so I'm going to go to, I've got a new blank page. Let's zoom in a bit so hopefully you can see this a bit better. I'm going to come up to the SVG icon, which is in Canvas Workspace here. And then where it says choose file, I'm going to go to my downloads folder and I'm going to choose this last file that just dropped into my folder, hoping this is the right one because, as I say, there's a couple in there from earlier on in the week. I don't even know if that's the right one. Let's go back. Choose file. I think it could be this one actually. Let's see what this one says. So 2 by 3/4 by 3.5. Yeah, so it's this one. Okay, so this is the one I've just downloaded. Had a fall, Rachel, hurt my knee. It's black and blue. Oh no. Bit late, but hello. Hi, Barbara. Oh dear, hope you're better soon. I'm good, thanks. So we are just all a bunch of old crocs, aren't they? With me back and me leg. Jamila's falling over. Alison and Jim. The other Alison was having problems a while ago as well, wasn't she? We're just all what we're like. Okay, so I'm going to choose this and I'm going to say okay. So it's saying some shapes could not be converted. Okay, well, we'll just say okay and see what we get. So I'm just going to drag an imaginary box around all of this and just bring it away from the red line a little bit. And this is what we've got. Now, I'm going to check and see if this is the size I'm expecting it to be. So I'm going to come to the basic shapes and I'm going to just grab a square for now. So what did I make it? I made it 3.5 inches high. So I'm just using the arrows and I'm just using the measurements on the bottom. So 3.5 inches high by, was it 2 inches wide? And then let's put that on there and see, and that seems to fit. So this seems to have imported at the correct size. Lynn's saying, I hate old age and dry rot. I don't want to join the party. I know, I feel exactly the same. It's awful, isn't it? Less of the old. I think I'm older than... No, I don't think you are. I think we're both in our 60s, aren't we, Jamila? So Thea's saying she saved as an SVG. Okay, so that's what I've just saved this one as. So at the moment, this seems as though it's saving okay. But again, I'm wondering, especially now Linda's told us it was a box with a lid, I'm wondering if when we make something that maybe doesn't fit on a piece of A4, if it shrinks the size down. But from memory a minute ago there was a custom size, so I'm wondering if we can put 12 by 12 in. So let's just plod on with this one for now. Jamila's saying, is there a limit to the size? And this is what I'm wondering, Jamila. Do you have a plane landing in your garden? No. That might have been Eddie. Eddie's just been running around. Or a kettle on. No. It was probably Eddie. Oh, it was Eddie. He was just chewing on something, a toy of his that makes a funny noise. One of them like crinkle toys. I bet it was him you could hear. I'm that busy concentrating on my screen, I've kind of blocked everything out. Jamila's saying, yes, this year is my turn. I think it was a train, it could have been. I'm that busy concentrating on what I'm doing, I'm not listening on what's going on around me. But yeah, there is a train that runs through the village and I've got the door open. And now Eddie's running around, so you'll probably hear his feet because I've got hard floors down in my house. Right, let's plod on. So this appears to have come in okay. The only thing I would say with this, all these blue lines here are basically the fold lines, and when you bring one of these files in, the JD Cougar saying, anyone older than my 72 years, I'll be 73 next month. Oh, don't need to know your age, just wondering if I'm the oldest here. Bless you. So all these bits that you can, if you click on them, they're all basically separate bits. Nothing is joined. And these blue bits, even though these are fold lines, these would cut if you didn't do anything with them. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on messing about with this particular file because I want to see if we can kind of get to the bottom of Linda's problem. But what I would say is that you need to adjust or anything that's blue. So I'm just going to zoom in just on this top bit for now, and then I'm going to click the arrowhead to deselect the zoom. And then if you see, if I click on this, this is a solid line. So if you want the ScanNCut to perforate your lines for you, you're going to have to put them in. So you're going to have to go to the properties box. You're going to have to come down and choose cut line and then choose one of your dashed lines. And you're going to have to do that on every bit that's blue. Okay, and then that way, see I've selected the wrong bit there, so I'm going to undo that. So I'm just going to try and keep clicking until I get the blue line. Now I might have to send that to the back because that might be on top. See, there you go. So it was choosing this bit. So I right clicked and I went send to back. And now when I click on this, again, I can choose the blue line, and then I would do cut line and choose my dash line. So you kind of need to have to go through the whole process and put in your dash lines, because if you don't, if you just send this file, see I've done it wrong again there, look, so I'm going to undo, I'm going to select what I think is the blue line and it's not, so I'm going to right click, send it to the back, and then I can choose the blue line. So this red bit, which is a flap, if I move it away, look, you can see it's not connected, was on top of the blue line. So when I was choosing the blue line, it was choosing this red bit. So you're going to have to go through and you're going to have to change all these lines to a dash line, because if you don't, the ScanNCut will just cut these as cut lines. So you'll end up with bits of card, basically. You won't end up with what you're expecting. Okay, so as I say, I don't want to spend too much time messing about with this, because I'm trying to see if we can rectify Linda's problem. So if I just zoom back out a little bit, you can see now when I click away. So this fold line, I've made a dash line. This one here on the flap I have, and this one here I have. Now, you know, you could try selecting them and hold your shift key down and select them all together if you can get them, and then go to your properties box, cut line, and change them all to a dash line. But depending on whether, you know, some of these other lines are on top, you might not be able to select them all at once, okay? So let's just assume I can get rid of this rectangle now, because I know in theory this should cut the size that I've made it in the template maker, okay? So I would, from here now, I would select everything once I'd put all those dash lines in, or you can go through and delete all the blue lines, just cut the outline and put the lines in yourself, you know, on a scoreboard, or if you've got the scoring attachment, you know, make those lines say a draw line, and instead of a cut dash line, and put your scoring tool in and score them. You've got lots of options, but like I say, I just don't want to spend too much time messing about with this at the moment. But basically, once you've got everything how you want it, I would select it all, I'd group it, I would give it a name up here, I'd save it using this icon here, the purple arrow that says overwrite this project, which basically is save, and then you can download it to your machine, okay? So now I'm going to go back to the template maker. I'm just going to move this off. Now it's all grouped, I'm just going to move it off down to one side. I'm going to come back to the template maker, and this time I'm going to leave I'm going to just very quickly just use this same box with all the same measurements, the same paper size, but this time I'm going to choose Perforated Svg and see if it makes any difference. But what I am going to do before I do anything else, I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and I'm going to just get rid of everything that's in my downloads folder, just to make it easier for me to know which template I'm using. So as I say, I've not changed anything at all. I've got all the same sizes. I've still got A4 portrait, but I'm choosing Perforated Svg and create. It says it's creating the template and it's dropping it into my downloads folder. So now I'm just going to come back to my canvas page. The only reason I moved this one out of the way is because everything normally drops in canvas in the top left hand corner, and I just didn't want what I'm bringing in to interfere with this one that I've just grouped. So again, I'm going to come up to the SVG icon, I'm going to come to where it says choose a file, I'm going to come to my downloads folder, and I'm going to bring in the one now that should be Perforated Svg, and see if it's any different. And you can see it's here, it's 2 by 0.75 by 3.5 inch perforated and say okay. Now to me it looks exactly the same apart from the fact it's not in red and blue, but the lines are perforated rather than on this one where they were solid and we've had to change them. So I'm going to use my magnifying glass and I'm just going to zoom in on this top portion again, and let's just have a look and see what we've got. So this time we have got perforated lines, and I just want to zoom in. So it looks as though possibly we could just use this as it is without having to mess with it. So that's interesting, but I don't know, you know, how these lines would cut, because if we just go to our other one, which is down on the bottom right of the mat somewhere, the dash lines that you put in canvas, can you see them, look like this? But these, these look different. These look vertical, whereas the other ones look horizontal. So I don't know how that would work, you know, what it would cut. If we select one and go to the properties box, you see it just shows us a cut / draw line like the other one did, and the dash pattern is showing as a solid line. So to me, I personally think that even though this shows as a dash line here, I'm not so sure that that would dash on your machine. It might just cut it as this solid line, because it says that the dash line chosen here is a solid line. So it might just cut it to pieces, I'm not sure. I think what I might do, let me zoom back out to 50%, and I'm going to, let's just try our size theory again anyway. So we'll make this 2 inches wide and 3.5 tall, and then let's see if that fits, and that seems to fit. So it looks as though it's coming in at the right size. So I'm going to group all that, and I'm going to bring the other one on, and I'm going to save. I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to call it, it was called card box, wasn't it? So I'll put card box. I don't know if it'll let me do dashes, and I'll do live, and I'll save it. Oh, and it will. And then if I get some time this week, I might send it to my machine and see what results I get, and then I'll either do a pre-record video or I'll let you know. So at least I've got that saved for now. So let's just see. I'm going to go back through the comments. And then we can just go on and see what we'll look at it in DXF, and then we'll go on to what Linda's saying. So let me come back. So Linda's saying my box and lid template printed on 2 separate pieces of paper, and the size was correct. Okay, but it wasn't when you sent it, when you did it as an SVG, I think. Is that what you told me, Linda? I vaguely remember you telling me that. If it's too big for the whole file to be on one sheet of A4, I would just save the lid and the bottom separately. Jamila's saying, glad you told us about the dash lines. I always learn so much. I don't use the dash line. I find it can rip the paper easily. Yeah, I think we've discussed this before. I don't particularly like the dash lines that Canvas puts in. So, you know, sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. And I think the thing with something like this, with a box, it's so much easier to just cut the outline, because you can see where the flaps are. You basically know where the folds are going to be, and you can just put them in manually on a scoreboard. Charlotte's saying this would be a great time to use the layers panel on the computer-based version. Yeah, I think from memory, Charlotte, I think I've looked at something like this with dash lines before, and it saves every separate dash line as a layer, so you end up with like millions of layers on some of your files. Can change to draw lines and use the stylus. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Obviously you've all got there ahead of me. Rachel's saying got to go, we'll catch later. That's fine. You may have already gone now by the time I've read all this. Let me see, Charlotte, it's not perfect because you can't cut on a special embossing mat. Right, so I'm just going to drag both of these now out of the way, and I'm going to come back to this same file, and I'm going to try DXF and create and see what we get, and then we'll go onto a box with a lid and see what happens. So I think that's dropped into my downloads folder, so we'll go to SVG, choose file, there's the DXF file, upload. Right, so what's it saying now? So under DXF, it's now saying options of DXF file format, unit. Do we want it in millimeters or inches? Well, I want it in inches, and that's how I created it in the template file. So I'm going to choose inches, and it's saying scale is 1:1. So we'll say OK. And then again, it looks okay. So let's bring our square in again and just make this 2 inches wide. As I say, this is kind of all trial and error, and we're just doing it live to see what happens. And we're going to do 3.5. And that looks as though it fits. So saving it as an SVG, or an SVG with perforated lines, or a DXF file, all seems to bring this particular file in at the right size. The only thing I would say with the DXF version is, again, you're going to have to change all these fold lines, either delete them or come to your properties box and make them, you know, the dash line of choice, because if you just send this file as it is to your machine, the ScanNCut will just cut every single one of these black lines, so you'll just end up with a bunch of scrap card. So I don't think I need to keep that one now. I'll bring these other two back onto the mat, and we'll go back to the template maker and we'll see if we can see what was happening with Linda's file. So I'm just going to resave that, and then we'll go back to the template, we'll go back to Canvas Workspace, and we'll get a new blank file, and then we'll go back to the template maker. So Linda's saying the box dimension was length 6, width 4, and height 2, and lid height was 1, all inches. Okay, so let's go back to the home page, and she was using a box with a lid, so box with lid. Again, we'll go to inches. So she said the length was 6, so we'll make that 6. The width was 4. Oh, let's get rid of that. And the height was 2. And she said the lid height was 1. So we'll delete that and we'll put 1. Okay. So that's showing us the base and the lid. I'm not going to touch anything else. Hi Jane, hope you're okay. So Thea's saying, if it is all saved and too big for A4, it will resize to fit. So let's just see. So I think she said she did it on A4. Now to me these look as though they could be in landscape rather than portrait. So I'm going to choose A4 landscape. But we could also choose 12 by 12. But that's not gonna help us with our, because if we're doing it, mind you, it might, let's try A4 first and see. So I'm going to choose A4 landscape because to me these look as though they're in landscape, but let's just change it to portrait and see if it looks any different. See, if you choose portrait, they look as though they're going off the page. So I'm going to choose A4 landscape, which they do now look as though they both fit. So let me just write the measurements down again. So we've got length, width and height. So we've got length was 6, width was 4 and height was 2. So let me just double check what we're doing. So the length is basically the height. And so it's basically a 6 by 4 rectangle. Okay, right, so I'm leaving it on A4 landscape and I'm going to just choose, what should we choose? Should we choose SVG perforated or SVG? Oh no, I'm going to choose SVG and create and see what we get. I'm going to go back to canvas. I'm going to come to the SVG icon. I'm going to choose the file and I'm looking for the box with lid and upload. So the 6 by 4 by 2 and the lid. Okay. Right, so it says some shapes could not be converted. Okay. Since the shape was larger than the mat, it was reduced in size when imported. Okay, so this could be your problem, Linda. So let's go back to basic shapes and get a rectangle, and we want something that's 6 inches wide by 4, and you can clearly see now that this template has been shrunk to fit. So that, Linda, could be why. So let me see what people are saying. I have just come on and have not been on for a wee while as I took but I'm on the mend now. No, the line where the perforation was a different shape. Okay, so you're obviously having a conversation with yourself and I'm missing something here, but so I'm not sure what's I know Vicky's answering some of the questions, which is good, so I'm just going to plod on for now. So it looks as though, which is what I was saying earlier before I did this, that if your file is too big, it's shrinking it down, because we know that we made this 6 by 4 and this rectangle here is 6 by 4, and you can clearly see that the template, the SVG template, is too small. So Linda, the answer is that the file you were making has been shrunk down because it was too small, too big to be imported. So I'm going to try something else. So let's come back to the template maker, and instead of choosing A4, I'm going to choose 12 by 12. And I'm going to choose create. Then I'm going to come back to canvas. I'm just going to select all this and group it and put it off to one side, because we know that that has been imported too small. I'm going to come back to the SVG icon. I'm going to come to the choose file, and I want the one I've just saved on 12 by 12, which I think, is it this one? Let's see. I don't know whether it's this one or not now. Let's say OK. Right, I'm going to empty my downloads folder because I'm not sure which file I'm saving. And then I'm going to resave it. Let's get rid of everything out of my downloads folder. So let's come back here, close that down. So I'm choosing 12 by 12 inch for desktop and create. I'm going to come back to canvas. I'm going to get rid of all this, and I'm going to come to SVG, choose file, from downloads, and then I'm going to say OK and see what happens. So it's saying some shapes could not be converted. Since the shape was larger than the mat, it was reduced in size. OK, so it's reduced it again, even though I tried to save it on a 12 by 12 mat. So let's get rid of that. And let's go back to the template maker and let's make the mat 12 by 24 and see what happens. So I'm going to empty my downloads folder again. Get rid of that. So this time I'm saying a 12 by 24 mat and I'm saying create. So let's come back to canvas, back to the SVG, choose the file. This should be the 12 by 24 mat. I wonder if I need to change the size of my mat. Can't remember where to do it, it's that long since I've used it. Where do I change my mat size, people? View. Project, 12 by 24. Okay, so it's under project. Right, let's get rid of all this again. Get rid of all this and start again. So we're going to go SVG, choose the file, choose the 12 by 24 and say OK. It's still saying that the shape was larger than the mat, so it's been reduced. So even though we've got a 12 by 24 mat, it's still reducing the size of the file. Okay, so let me come back and see what you're all saying. So Abigail, let me just see, I've just seen something Abigail said. So Abigail is saying, is that shrink to fit feature? Have a toggle to turn it on and off. Tell Canvas you have a bigger mat. Yeah, I've tried that. Jamila's saying, I think I've missed a part. Can these now be resized once you import? I'm guessing we can, Jamila, but I'm just trying to work out if we can get it to do it right in the first place. I bet it's still too small for the 12 by 12 mat, Charlotte's saying. Or tell the template maker you have a smaller mat so it puts in 2 mats or 2 files. Okay, we'll try that, Vicky. Try it portrait on 12 by 24. Okay, so we know that this still isn't working. Okay, so let's go back to the template maker. So I've tried 12 by 24 and that didn't work. So Vicky's saying make it smaller so it puts it on different mats. Tell the template maker you have a smaller mat so it puts it on 2 mats or 2 files. Okay, so let's do, well, should we try custom size? I've no idea what's going to happen here. So let's think about it. So the box width was 4 and the flap size was about 1/2 inch. So if we say the page width is will this work? 7. And if we say the height is 9, that doesn't seem to work, does it? Or do we do it the opposite way around? Let's say 9 and 7. I'm not sure that works either, to be honest. So let me see what you're saying. Ashley, under view, is there a way to deselect fit to mat? Under view. Are we talking about in Canvas Workspace? It says show only cutting line, show only drawing line, show mat image and show properties. The only way you can do fit to mat is if to zoom in, like when it does that, if that's what you mean. But we want it to actually fit on the mat, don't we? And it's not doing that. It is putting it on 2 pages, and I'm wondering if that's why it shrinks it, because the template maker is putting the file on 2 pages, but when we bring it into Canvas, it's putting it all on 1 mat. But I can't see how we can save it independently. So let's go back, let's just go back to A4 portrait. Or was it A4 landscape on this particular one? So you can see that the lid and the box, the template maker is putting the template in on two pieces of paper effectively. But I can't see, when you download it, it downloads as 1 file. And I think that's where the problem is, because then when you're trying to open this 1 file in Canvas, these 2 elements are too big for your mat. But I wonder, can we change it to, let's go back to project. If we choose 12 by 24, see, we can't even rotate the mat, can we? Let's have a look. If we change this to portrait, and then I'm going to clear my downloads folder again, just so that I can know I'm bringing the right thing in. So let's try this. So we've still got the same size box that Linda wanted. I've changed the it back to A4 portrait, and I'm going to create. But in Canvas, I've made my mat size 12 by 24. So let's see what happens now. It's probably still going to say it's too small. Oh, here we go. Some shapes could not be converted. Well, that's okay. But so now it has brought it on. So let's zoom in. Let's find our 6x4 rectangle. Now that seems to be bigger. So this time, or is that my lid? Oh no, that's right. Oh no, hang on, which is my lid? This is my base. So the base is meant to be 6x4, so it is still smaller. And that's my lid. Or is that my base? Oh my days, which is which? Let's go back to the pictures. Okay, so the one with the narrower flaps is the lid. So the lid appears to be 6x4, but the base is bigger, and that's not right, is it? Because the lid should be bigger. But we're getting somewhere. We are definitely getting somewhere. So let's go. Let me come back and see what you're all saying. It's looked like it's putting it on 2 pages. Change the length to width and height to width. What size card does the template maker think you're using? When you select mat size, there is a 24x12 and a 12x24 in the template maker. Okay, we'll try that. If you try Perforated Svg, it will split pages on template maker. Okay, so let's go back then. So let's get rid of all of this and go back to the template maker. So Vicky's saying, I've lost a comment. Where's Vicky's comment gone? I've lost it. Oh, it was Sue. So Sue's saying, when you select mat size, there is a 24x12 and a 12x24 in the template maker. Okay. So what you're saying, we should try the 24x12. Let's get rid of that again. So we've still got 6x4x2 with the 1-inch lid. We've got 24x12, and we're going to create. So we'll go back to Canvas, we'll go to SVG, and we'll choose this one and upload. Okay, so, right, so we've got the right orientation now. Have I just deleted my box? So let's bring a box back in. So we want 6x4. Okay, so this is the lid and this is the base. So the lid should be bigger and the base should be 6x4. So that's right now, perfect. So it's 6x4. And then when we put that on there, the lid is bigger. So there we go. We've done it. We've done it, guys. So I'm going to get rid of that one. So this is the right size now, because this rectangle is 6x4 and that fits perfectly in there, and that's the base that Linda wanted. And this is the lid, because the lid's got the smaller flaps. And if I put the 6x4 rectangle here now, don't know if I zoom in, you can see that this section is bigger, and that's right, because the lid needs to be bigger. Colour in my 6x4 box. Okay, so if I make this, let's make it blue, so you can see it. Okay, maybe blue wasn't a good choice. Let's make it green. Okay, so can you see? So my 6x4 rectangle fits within this lid now. And then if I bring it down to the base, it's the exact size. So let's come back and see what we're saying. So Charlotte's saying, now if I can remember what we did. Right, well, I'm going to go back over it. So basically, what we've done in the template maker, we've chosen the box, we've made the size that Linda wanted, which was a 6 long by 4 wide by 2 high with a lid that is 1 inch deep. Okay, we left all the flap sizes the same. In page size, we chose 24 by 12, so 24 length by 12 inch wide. And I just saved it as a straightforward SVG, and then I created it. And then when we come into Canvas, let's get rid of all this. Make sure I've got rid of everything. So in Canvas, we came to Project and we chose 12 by 24, because in Canvas it's 12 inches wide by 24 long, but here we have to choose 24 by 12, so the opposite, that's all. We saved the file, and then when we imported it and brought it in, you still get this message that some shapes could not be converted. I think that is basically just some of the little lines, because like I said to you before, this is all separate lines. And it's brought it in. So there's your lid at the top, if I bring it away from the perforation line, and there's your base at the bottom. So let's delete all that and let's just try, just delete everything. So we're just back to a blank mat again. And then let's just try Perforated Svg and choose Create, and download that and come back to SVG and see if it does it with the perforation. So we're going to choose the file. I think it's this one, Perforated. Yeah, Perforated. Okay, so now let's bring in our box, make it 6 by 4. Let's fill it with pink or something so we can see it. That seems to fit on there perfectly, and the lid is bigger as it should be. The only thing I would say with this is that this has all come in as separate bits and it's bunched it up, so you're going to have to separate this off now. So let's grab as much as we can without getting the top bit. Drag this down, and I want this line here, which I can't get hold of. Just going to zoom in, because this belongs with the other bit. And then we're going to bring this down and pop that there. So let's zoom out. But again, you're going to have, I think, the same problem as we had before. Let me just, I'll come back to your comments in a minute. Drag this down. So if I click, let me zoom in here. So if I click on this perforated line and go to properties, it's still showing it as a solid line. So even though it shows as perforated on screen, I think the ScanNCut will cut this as a solid line. So you're still going to have to go back in and change it to a ScanNCut perforated line. But I think we've mastered it now. We know what we're doing. So if it's a bigger box, you're going to have to change your mat size in the template maker. Now, there's no reason whatsoever why once you've sorted all your dash lines out and you group this, there's no reason whatsoever why this shouldn't fit, I don't think, on a 12 by 12 mat. You don't have to have a 12 by 24 mat to cut it. Let's see how big it is. So if you look at this one grouped, it's 8 by 10. So that would easily fit on a 12 by 12 mat. And this one is 8 1/4 by nearly 6 1/4. So even though we've had to save it on a 12 by 24 or a 24 by 12 mat, we can still cut it on a 12 by 12 mat, if that makes sense. Yeah, so Vicky's saying, can you do a review of what you did for success? So I've just done that, so hopefully. So Linda's saying, thank you so much for solving my problem. Jamila's saying, Charlotte, keep this video when Ashley uploads it. So Jamila's saying, but on this now, do we need to sort out the perforation lines? Yes, you do, because even though you've saved it as an SVG with perforated lines, I think they will still cut as a solid line, because like I've just shown you, when you select them and go to the properties box, it shows it as a solid line. Okay, Jane, take care. Can we delete the perforated lines and then score them on a scoreboard? Yes, most definitely. JD Cougar. So Vicky's saying, does the template maker tell you the dimensions of the cutting file? I don't know, let's go back and have a look. I can't see that it does. So what I'm saying is, I would make your file in this template maker and save it, you know, either as an SVG or a DXF or an SVG perforated, whichever way you want to do it. And then when you open it in Canvas, like we've been doing, if we know that we're roughly wanting something that's 6 by 4, grab yourself a shape and make it, you know, the size that you want, and see if you think the template's coming at the right size. And if it has, like I showed you at the beginning with the card box and now this, then you know your file's going to be good to go. But if your file comes in and you try a shape on it and it's too small, then you're going to have to come back here and you're going to have to change your mat size, or just always work on a 24 by 12 mat in the template maker and save the file, and hopefully it will bring it in the right size once you're in here. Once we save this, so if I put here, I'll just put 6 by 4 template maker, see if that'll save. Okay, so if I now come back to Canvas Workspace and choose a new blank 12 by 12 mat, and then come to my projects here, that file that I've just saved is in my project. So if I select it, it's saying my project exceeds 12 by 12 due to its 12 by 24. Please make sure those mat area, please make sure those mat area sizes. So if I say OK, then let's come back to our basic shapes, make our rectangle 6 by 4, just to make sure this works. 6 by 4, let's fill it in for Vicky, make it red. And that is still 6 by 4. So there's no reason now why we couldn't save both these elements and then save it here again. So 6 by 4, and we'll do 12 by 12 mat and save. Okay, unexpected server error. Okay. Saving project is complete. So if we go back to Canvas Workspace now and go to My Projects, there's the two files. So if I just open a 12 by 12 mat again and come to My Projects, I've got the one I originally saved from the template maker on the 12 by 20 format, and I've now got the one that I've just saved both the separate elements on a 12 by 12 mat. So you don't need to have a 12 by 20 format. You can save both elements, and then all you would do is you put this into your machine, and once you load this onto your canvas mat, you'd delete one and cut the lid. Then you'd have to open the file again and delete the lid and cut the base if you're just using a 12 by 12 mat. So I think we've solved Linda's problem. So let's go back and see. So Barbara's saying, so if you only have a 12 by 12 cutting mat, you can delete top or bottom once saved and cut separately. Exactly, Barbara. Yeah, that's what I was just meaning. Sorry, I've missed your comments. I'm going back through the comments, so I may have already answered some of the questions. What a great idea. Teamwork, definitely, yeah. You could change perforation lines to draw lines. You can change them to draw lines, Barbara. That's what I was saying at the beginning. And then if you've got a score tool, you could choose draw, but put the score blade in. I personally probably would delete all the perforated lines and just put them in on my scoreboard, or use my paper trimmer with my score blade. Jamila's saying, great idea, keep it at 12 by 24. JD Cougar saying, I agree, Vicky, someone else has done all the work to make a lot of different templates that we can start with and get it to what we need in a few changes. Now you can delete one, cut it, then load the second one. Yeah, no problem, Barbara. JD Cougar saying, wow, you guys here are truly a great team. Thanks for the group. Brilliant. Well, we got there in the end, didn't we? I always learn and enjoy this live on Sundays. So Charlotte saying, I have an embarrassing question. How do you remove a fill colour when using the downloaded Canvas Workspace? It seems like it should be easy, but I'm blanking out. How do you remove a fill colour? So Corinne's saying, thanks Ashley, I now know where I've been going wrong. So how do you remove a fill colour in the download? Okay. Software update. I won't do it now. We'll just open the computer-based version, and then we'll see if we can answer this question, and then I think we'll call it a day. So we'll just wait for this to open, and then so for Charlotte, I'm going to bring a square on. So Charlotte is saying, how do you remove a fill colour when using the downloaded Canvas workspace? Okay, so I've got a box. The icon on the left is the fill icon. So I'm just going to choose, mine always looks different because I use a Mac. I'm just going to fill it with blue. And this is the outline in black. So is this what you mean, Charlotte? So to remove the fill, you go to the fill bucket. Now for me, I take the opacity down to 0 because I use a Mac. Let's see if there's anywhere we can do it in. So in the properties box over on the right hand side, you can see again you've got fill and line. I take the opacity down. On Windows, I'm not sure how you do it, but somebody on here will know. Learned a lot tonight. Hope I can adapt what I've learnt. Vicky's saying this was the scientific method at its finest. Well, we do get there in the end, don't we, Vicky? I can get the fill, but removing it is what I can't figure out. Okay, so Charlotte, you should be able to go to your fill bucket over on the right hand side and either take your opacity down, or somebody will know how to do it on Windows. On my Mac it's different. Thanks for this session, Ashley, especially when you are in pain. Hope you will feel much better soon. Have a good week. Oh, thanks, Heather, you're fine. I don't know much about Instagram, but love this live group and the videos that Ashley posts. Thank you for explaining so precisely. Thanks for another great and informative live. There is a square top left on Windows, Jamila's saying. On Windows there is a checkered box, just click on that. So that's what Kareen's telling you. So Charlotte's saying I use a Mac also and have taken the opacity down, but it just niggles at me to know it's still there. No, it's not still there. That's what removes it. That's how you do it, Charlotte. That's how I do it. Right, now, someone's just asked something about Instagram. So Jamila's just said, is there any way we can make us an Instagram for us all? Then we can help each other. I don't know. I mean, I have an Instagram. My Apple Lover Instagram. You're all welcome to post questions on there. But I don't know if we can make a group on Instagram. Somebody that... I'm not very good on Instagram. I literally have it and I just post pictures. But somebody might know. If we can do that. And I'm sure somebody will answer the question. So Anita's saying, I think you changed the colour to white. Jamila's saying it's a clear square top left. On Windows, you choose a checkerboard. Okay, so we've established that Charlotte's on Mac like me. So basically that's how you do it. So if we fill it back in again with pink, I don't know if you can do it any other way. Let's go to File and see. Let's select it. Let's see what else we've got. We've got cut, copy, duplicate, layer, display, file. No, there's nothing there. If we go to the layers panel, if we turn it off, we delete it all together. So it's basically you either select it and then click on the paint pot, and on a Mac it brings up your colour box and you take the opacity down and that's now got rid of it. Or we fill it with colour and on the properties box you click on the fill box and you do the same thing. So that's basically how you remove it. but for Windows it's different. So Charlotte's saying there's always your forum. Yeah, there's the forum. To be honest, I've not been on the forum for ages. I've been last year when I did my back and I was out of action for like 3 months, and then Christmas came and I've been funnily enough, I was thinking about it the other day. I know I've not been on it. Corinne's saying surely we need to make a Facebook group. Vicky's saying Ashley's blog. Jamila's saying I'm not technical, I have this on Instagram only. Did not make my account, I had it made for me. Yeah, I think Hannah made mine. I don't know, I mean, like Vicky's just said, we've got the blog, we've got the forum. I don't know. We could make a Facebook group called, you know, Sunday Night Live or something like that. I don't know. It's just kind of one extra place for me to look at, really, isn't it? I don't know. Leave comments, I don't know. Leave comments under the video and see what you all think, and we'll see what we can do. But for now, I think that's going to be the end of tonight's episode anyway. So I think we've got to the bottom of the problem. The problem is that if you're making a template that's bigger than basically A4, it's going to shrink the file down no matter how you save it as an SVG or a DXF. So you're going to have to be mindful when you're making your templates that that could happen. So the other option is, when you use the template maker, maybe make your page size 24 by 12 anyway as your default size, and that hopefully should help. And then when you open the file in Canvas, you're going to have to make your canvas mat 12 by 24, and then it should bring it on. So Jamila's saying the idea is that we can help each other during the week. So Charlotte's saying I'd veto a Facebook page. Okay, so that's fine. Vicky's saying there's a community tab on Ashley's YouTube. Yeah. Or I'm wondering, is there a way? So like Vicky said, there's the community tab on my YouTube channel. There's the forum. I mean, I could make a tab on the forum for Sunday Night Live questions. Let's go to the forum while we're all here. And so we go to my forum. Let's have a look, because it's ages since I've been on here. So yeah, we've got things like, we've got general chit chat, we've got ScanNCut machine, we've got ScanNCut canvas. I could make here something that says Sunday Night Live questions, and then you could go to the forum and post them in there. And then if you're all members of the forum, then you could answer each other's question. That might be a way to go, rather than, you know, starting another Instagram and another Facebook. But I think you've all got to be members of my forum for you to all be able to create and answer questions. Jamila, you can't find the forum. Okay, so go to my website, Jamila, www.perforatedlines.com. applelover53.co.uk. When you go there, there's a blog tab and there's a forum tab. So the blog is where I post all my projects and tutorials and YouTube lives. And the forum is a separate forum you've got to be a member of, and you can ask questions and answer questions to each other. So I've got to go now because I've got to take Hannah out. But what I'll do, tomorrow I'll go onto the forum and I'll make a Sunday night live, a Sunday night YouTube live section on the forum. And then providing you're all members, you can all go on and put your questions in that specific section, and then hopefully everybody that's a member will be able to answer if I can't answer it in the meantime. How do you get to be a member? I think you sign up from memory to the newsletter, or you click on forum and it'll ask you to become a member. I'm already signed in, so I'd have to log out. So if you get to forum, it says to you, new to the site, sign up. So you sign up. Okay, Eddie's getting told off by Hannah, if you can hear that. He's trying to get into a luggage, I think, basically. Right, I'm going to go now, guys, because I know I was on late, but it's 10 to 7 and I've got to take Hannah out. So I'm going to end the live. I'll try and sort this all out later on or tomorrow, and hopefully we can get a section on the forum. So I'll love you and leave you. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you.